What if the most successful companies in the world aren't actually the most valuable? What if they just look that way because we're measuring the wrong thing? Right now, businesses run on a pretty simple equation. Revenue minus costs is profit. And buried inside that equation is a dangerous assumption that people are a cost. So naturally, the game becomes to cut staff, to lower wages, to automate everything, to increase margins. And when companies do that, they're rewarded. Stock prices rise, valuations climb, leaders are praised. But step back, is that really optimization? Or is that quiet, invisible extraction? When a company lays off 5,000 people, the headlines say efficiency has improved, costs have reduced, and the outlook is stronger financially. But let's zoom out. That's 5,000 incomes gone, 5,000 families adjusting, 5,000 lives destabilised. Less money spent in shops, less security in households, less momentum in the economy. The system doesn't measure that because it only tracks what stays inside the business, not what flows through it. So let's flip one assumption. Employees not being a cost, but instead value generators. Not just in productivity, but in economic impact. Imagine two companies. Company A is lean, automated, with high margins. Company B employs 10 times more people, slightly lower margins. Today, Company A wins, but Company B is supporting more families, more communities, more economic activity. So what if we measured the human economic output? Total salaries paid across the workforce. Suddenly, hiring more people isn't inefficiency, it impacts at scale. Because money doesn't just sit still, it moves. An employee earns 30,000, spends it, supports other businesses. Those businesses pay their employees and the cycle continues. It ripples outward. So what if we introduce the economic ripple score? Total salaries times circulation multiplier. Now we're not measuring static profit, we're measuring movement of value through society. A company paying higher wages to more people becomes an engine, not just a machine. Now let's ask a sharper question. Who actually receives the value? A CEO might get 15 million while employees get 25. The gap itself tells a story because money concentrated at the top doesn't circulate the same way. So what if an introduction was the value distribution index? The ratio of top compensation to median employee pay. The tighter the gap, the stronger the system, and the stronger the business is valued. Because value shared widely builds stability, loyalty, and long-term growth. Every pound paid in salary doesn't just exist once. It gets reused, recycled, reinvested. So underpaying employees isn't just saving money, it's shrinking the entire economic engine. So imagine we measure the salary multiplier value. Average salary times the number of employees times economic circulation. Now we're capturing something deeper, not just what a company earns, but what it enables. And maybe you also value how a company pays compared to the average. If they're underpaying to make more profit, maybe that goes as a black mark on that business and actually reduces the value of that business. Because we're entering a world of AI. For the first time ever, companies can scale output without scaling people. Fewer employees, higher efficiency, greater profits. Under today's model, perfect. But long term, dangerous. Because if millions lose income, who buys the products? Who sustains demand? Who keeps the system alive? So maybe we introduce the human retention and augmentation score. How well a company uses AI to enhance humans, not replace them. Do they retrain? Do they redeploy? Do they create new roles? Or do they simply cut? Because the companies that sustain people sustain the future. And what about research and development? Because innovation sounds noble, but ask this, who benefits? Companies can pour billions into R&D while freezing wages or cutting jobs. So we introduce the innovation impact alignment. Research and development investment versus employee benefit. Does innovation lead to better pay, better roles, better lives, or just higher margins? Because innovation without human progress is incomplete. Because the new metrics change everything. The workforce stability score. Are people constantly hired and fired or supported long term? The skill evaluation index. Are employees becoming more valuable over time? The community impact value. How much does a company strengthen the local economy? The employee well-being score. Are people thriving or burning out? What about the time value return? Are employees doing meaningful work or just existing in systems? What about the opportunity creation rate? How many new paths, roles and future does the company create? And the purpose alignment score. Do people believe in what they're building? Now the equation evolves, doesn't it? Because then it's not profit equals success, but total value is profit. The human economic output, the economic ripple, the value distribution, the human retention, the innovation alignment, the workforce growth and well-being. Now we're not just measuring money, we're measuring impact. Because the question is, what are we incentivizing? Here's the truth, businesses don't always have morals, they have metrics. They optimize for whatever gets rewarded. So if we reward cost cutting, they cut people. Efficiency, they remove humans. Profit, they extract value. But if we reward human growth, they invest in people. Fair distribution, they share value. Economic contribution, they build systems. Then everything changes. The future of business isn't just better leaders, it's better measurements. Because what we measure becomes what we build. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to follow, like, comment and subscribe. And just a quick shout out to our sponsors. Strong Coffee Company, protein packed coffee for energy and clarity. Use code VANCRUX1 for 20% off at strongcoffeecompany.com. And then there's More Labs, clinically proven hydration and recovery drinks. Use code VANCRUX1 for 25% off at morelabs.com. And Liquor Gummies, electrolytes and vitamins for hangover prevention. Use code VANCRUX1 for 20% off at liquor.com. That's liquure.com.